What's up, family? We just here to have a conversation. I hope you guys are having an amazing day. As usual, I'll just let off my authentic thoughts, perspective, and insights as I check out these videos that I came across, but I am reacting to them in real time. So I just seen snippets of them to cite my sources in regards to what I'm going to talk about so I can present it to you guys on the screen so you guys can interact with me down in the comments and you guys let your thoughts off. Because as always, we are here just to have a genuine conversation respectfully, and we don't operate in the echo chamber over here. We just talk about it. You know what I'm saying? Because these are real life things that are happening in regards of not only our president, as I love to say now, and I'm so proud as an American to be able to say and be happy in regards of us actually having a true leader, in my personal opinion. But I'm always open to the possibility of being wrong, and you guys can let off your thoughts, like I said, down in the comments. But however, as you guys see on the banner, it says Trump threatens to sue media for defamation or other media outlets, so to say, right? I wouldn't say sue, though. I know the banner says that. Well, I mean, threaten. I wouldn't say threaten, though. I know the banner says that, but I would like to say Trump is holding these legacy media outlets accountable because they've been getting away with these defamatory things so long. And defamatory, as we know, and its definition in itself is an individual knowingly claiming false statements when they know that they're false and it's besides the truth, right? But however, I want you guys to see all these networks that are shaking in their boots as Trump is threatening, as they say in their words, to sue them. As we all know, Trump has held ABC accountable for basically saying defamatory things when it came to him raping an individual that came out to be false. And at the end of the day, they should have let the justice system play out. But now that these legacy media outlets have been running on the anti-Trump train for so long and haven't been held accountable for their actions, I guarantee you, as I said, they're feeling it now and they're shaking in their boots. But these are the things they have been saying over and over and over, and so comfortable with saying, as I know that we all have been looking at these legacy media outlets like, yo, how are they saying so many of these outlandish things and so comfortable with getting away with it? But check out what they've been saying this whole time.
It's egregious, and you know, this is now different from 2016 because he has been found liable for rape. So it's.
But I do think the Democrats also need to look at him and go, why are we not beating this guy? Why is this convicted felon, this man has been found liable for rape?
At the end of the day, what we know from Donald Trump is that he has over 24 credible allegations of sexual assault. We know that he was found liable for rape.
If you don't want to be held liable for rape like Donald Trump has, don't grab the woman's genitalia.
I just have to say, I'll take those concerns seriously if you also express concerns about the allegations. He's been found liable for rape.
Well, family, there you have it. Those are the rants that they've been going on and these defamatory things that they have been doing in regards of attempting to tarnish Trump as they've been on this anti-Trump train, or I should say the bandwagon of hating Trump for no apparent reason, because the guy been a winner his whole life. He's a phenomenal leader. We have seen the results in 2016 when he was president. Right now, we got Sleepy Joe and Kamala Harris. We don't know what they do besides continue to push the nuke button and fund these proxy wars where Ukraine and Russia sending money over to Angola while he's falling asleep. Joe Biden, in this case, and which I'm talking about because he's the one that was falling asleep in the African meeting, just showing weak leadership. And it showed how other countries was laughing at us because we all know that other countries really tune into America and the United States of America in its entirety, because the way and the trajectory in which the United States goes, the rest of the country goes. But the thing what I'm trying to get at, family, is we all know that ABC had to cough up money in regards of George Stephanopoulos and his actions and saying defamatory things, and it amounted up to $15 million. That's Trump lawyers getting paid $1 million. You know, we all know that people are saying, oh, it's not going to Trump pockets, it's going to his library. It doesn't matter. The company is still held liable for it, and they have to cough up the money. And it still goes to Trump in some way, shape, or form. It's just a matter of them having to cough up the money and being held accountable as they should be held accountable for these lies that they continue to report on instead of just reporting the news. But the point that I'm making, family, is you guys have been so ignorant and I'm talking about these legacy media outlets, and they have been so spoiled in holding a monopoly of truth that they feel as though they shouldn't be held accountable. But if it's good for you as legacy media outlets to be talking and saying these outlandish things, why isn't it good for Trump to hold you guys accountable and at the end of the day justify these claims and actually fact check and speak the truth, in which these networks, these legacy media outlets should be doing, as they were commodities and entities their sole purpose was to spread the truth to the American people, but instead inciting violence and inciting false claims and being activists running away from the truth, when we all know that CNN said their motto, their whole mantra was, oh, the news of truth, right? And I'm just recalling, I don't know what their mantra is word for word, but you guys get the news you can trust. Well, the thing is, you guys been so dedicated to an establishment, which is the left, the Democratic Party, and being so biased and within your activism that you were just tarnishing someone's reputation, in this case Trump, and at the end of the day not backing it up with facts. So you deserve the punishment. And if anything, if it was good for you guys to continue to slander him in this time, then it's good for Trump to benefit off of the things that you did in regards to being held accountable. Stop lying, don't lie, and just report the facts. And that's why you won't have George Stephanopoulos being held accountable, let alone the network, which is ABC, that's being thrown under the bus. And I want you guys to check out the video when ABC had to cough up the money. I did talk about it, and I will put the video at the end of this video so you guys can go click on it. But the point that I said was, I wonder what is going to be in regards of the terms within journalism now. I wonder what is going to be the fine print in regards to the trajectory on how journalists are going to journal. And I feel like Trump holding these networks accountable restores true journalism. And I said now, and I also wonder what is in the contract left for George Stephanopoulos, because the network basically giving out all this money. And the thing is, if they continue to follow suit with the legal battle in court, it will mostly just expose more of the corruption on ABC. So, of course, they wanted to resolve matters as quick as possible. But this is what Trump had to say, and I totally agree, because these legacy media outlets deserve the punishment. Check this.
Bringing one against the people in Iowa, their newspaper, which had a very, very good pollster who got me right all the time. And then just before the election, she said I was going to lose by 3 or 4 points, and it became the biggest story all over the world because I was going to win Iowa by 20 points. The farmers loved me, and I loved the farmers.
That's what happened when you go to following the hype and following what's popular at the time instead of upholding the truth. The truth trumps all. But however, that was Trump in regards of what I agree, and they deserve the punishment. And I said this in my video when I talked about ABC. I'm saying I wonder who's next going to be sued at the end of the day, because just to set the tone for other networks to be cautious and aware, and trust me, they are, because they're like, oh, we done say some things too, like the Joy Reids, like the Abby Phillips. You know what I'm saying? So this is CNN response with Jake Tavern in regards of Trump press conference and how he said he was going to hold these media outlets, legacy media outlets, accountable and come after others as well. Check out what Jake Tavern had to say.
Kristen, I don't want to overstate Trump's friendliness and genial attitude at this press conference, because this weekend ABC News agreed to pay $16 million, including legal fees, to settle a defamation lawsuit brought by Trump against the network and their anchor, George Stephanopoulos. And that obviously will not be the end of this campaign against the media, legal campaign against the media. We heard him go after many other news outlets today. Take a listen.
So I'm going to be bringing one against the people in Iowa, their newspaper. We're filing one on 60 Minutes. We're involved in one which has been going on for a while and very successfully against Bob Woodward. We have one, very interestingly, on Pulitzer, because reporters at the New York Times, Washington Post got Pulitzer Prizes for their wonderful, accurate, and highly professional reporting on the Russia hoax.
We don't have time to go into all of that, but just to touch base on a couple. There's one of them is the people of Iowa, the Des Moines Register. That's because there was a poll that was inaccurate, The one on 60 Minutes is because they didn't like the editing that had been done to the
on a
Kamala
soundbite
Harris.
from Kamala Harris.
Yeah, I mean, this is wildly ridiculous.
What's good for the goose is good for the gander, as they like to say, right? So at the end of the day, if it could benefit you guys, it should benefit Trump, especially the individual that you're tearing down and he's trying to build up the country, right? And at the end of the day, the way I look at it is these legacy media outlets are a threat to the monopoly of truth. That's why now things have been decentralized, right? There's not one commodity in regards of we the people that can go get information. We are the information, and that's why podcasters, content creators continue to thrive, and they will continue to thrive, and these legacy media outlets will continue to tarnish and fall like dominoes. And at the end of the day, they're all up in rampage in regards of fear, because now not only are they losing ratings, but at the end of the day, it's going to affect their pockets. But they didn't care when it came to affecting the reputation of a potential president, which is our president and my president, President-elect Donald Trump, right? But this how delusional they are in regards of they don't believe they did anything wrong and run into the victim Olympics, and they don't like to be held accountable. And they like to say that Trump is going to weaponize the government or the justice system in this case, and he's going to go after his opponents. Trump don't care to go after any opponents. He wants to rock with people that rock with him. But most importantly, the thing Trump is focused on is do not get in my way, as I'm trying to restore the trust of the American people, restore public safety, also restore the government trust within the American people, and also continue to advocate for inciting the truth. Because the American people are owed transparency, because they voted for us to not only lobby the things that they voted for in picking us as public officials. And we all know that Trump is outside of the establishment, because he's not your typical politician where they say one thing and do another. When Trump says it, he means it. And he resonates with the people. But these people are so busy running off of narratives, and they'll rather feed into narratives instead of resonating with the people, but most importantly, advocating for the truth, right? Just be true journalists. However, I want you guys to see also what CNN had to say, along with Jake Tavern. This individual, she had a commentary alongside of Jake Tavern in regards of Trump threatening to sue these other legacy media outlets. Check it out, family.
Well, one of the things to keep in mind here is that Donald Trump feels like he won. I mean, this weekend, by having a settlement with ABC, one that many people did not think was going to come to fruition. They thought that this would end up in court, or that it would certainly not be a settlement in which ABC paid $16 million and issued a public apology, which was part of this, has been a situation which has empowered and emboldened Donald Trump.
And there you have it, folks. At the end of the day, they want to use the word emboldening. But at the end of the day, words have power, and words mean something, and that's why context matters. So at the end of the day, the whole point is, at the cost of you spread corruption with these defamatory claims, tarnishing Donald Trump's reputation, knowing that they were false, and didn't let the justice system play out and do their part and just report the facts because you wanted to be an activist. But not only that, at the cost of American people, rather, when it came to spreading this corruption, at the cost of American people being messy and spreading messy propaganda. That's the truth. That's what it is. But at the end of the day, family, this is the delusion of Abby Phillips on CNN in regards of talking about the presidential debate in this case when Trump was running before, there was a red landslide, as I like to say all the time. I love it.
Is he trying to intimidate the media with this strategy?
I think he is well within bounds to play the game that he thinks they're playing against him, which is to lie about him, to try to shape the narrative around him in ways that he doesn't believe are accurate. My belief is, why can't people just be precise? So look what happened to ABC. They were not precise in what they said, And you can't be so flip with this kind of serious information when we're talking about, the public affairs of our country. I mean, I've been on TV over the last several years with people who I thought were really loose with their language and how they described him. I've heard it on Pete Hegseth. I've heard it.
And I said that, family. I know all of us, the American people, were like, yo, how are these legacy media outlets, and I said it earlier, how are they getting away with saying these outlandish things like that? Like so wild like that on these legacy media outlets, and they don't even care. At the end of the day, you're still part of corporate America. You're on ABC, a big network. At the end of the day, when much power was with much responsibility is more power. You can't just be saying outlandish things and don't think you're going to be held accountable, especially on a big network that is advocating to uphold the truth and that's supposed to be giving information, not misinformation, to the American people. Right? But at the end of the day, she's basically trying to say, don't you think President Donald Trump was being messy on how he ran his campaign? And I agree with Scott Jennings. Scott said, look, man, I think he was doing right within the lines of how he wanted to run his campaign in the same way the Democrats was playing it. At the end of the day, he wasn't playing to their game. If anything, he was leading by example of true leadership, upholding the truth. And also, we all know that Kamala Harris was running her reproductive rights campaign. And at the end of the day, Trump was like, look, this is what's really happening, and running campaigns on facts, as they were focused on slandering Trump and not resonating with the American people. When inflation is high, illegal immigrants is running through the border every single day, and they don't even want to acknowledge the border. And at the end of the day, people are struggling. People are struggling. And look, the cost of it came to an economic standpoint in which Kamala Harris didn't even want to acknowledge. That's just facts. But at the end of the day, it still doesn't absolve these legacy media outlets from being so messy and having these defamatory claims in regards of saying Trump raped a victim, when that's a serious crime. You cannot just be throwing around those things, man. And you should focus on being held accountable and watch the things you say. And if Trump wants to run his campaign in regards of how he wants to run it, and let the American people decide the same way Kamala Harris did her thing, what's wrong with that? You are a network that you said full of journalists that are going to uphold the truth and just give information, truth. However, but let the delusion continue from Abby Phillips, as she said Republicans did the defaming. This is the last thing I want to show you guys. Check this out.
Every day, Al Gore's internet, and I see all kinds of smears against Democrats being perpetrated by the new media in conservative circles. Are those folks ready to be sued?
No, that's not what's happening here. As Scott said, it's about holding major media outlets accountable in a game that they're one-sided on, and that's the way. It's not about the money for Trump. He's not doing that.
Exactly. So at the end of the day, it's about holding them accountable. And at the end of the day, she could try to move the goalposts. Oh, Republicans, okay. The same way Republicans, in your case, you're hypothetical, spread lies. Democrats did the same thing. But at the end of the day, it's for the people to decide, in my opinion. That doesn't mean you jump into it. You guys aren't running a campaign. You guys are CNN, MSNBC, NBC. The top source that gets the news to inform the people. That you guys have to realize you guys' sole purpose. The campaigns of the nominations or the nominees that are running in regards of anticipating to be elected as the presidential elect, they are running their campaigns in which they think are effective to speaking to the American people, to say the things in which they're going to do. And we, the American people, vote based on the things that they lobby as they represent us. And we look at them as a potential leader to represent the country as a whole. From a national elective standpoint, it still trickles down to your local individuals, your governor, your mayors. They are more important than a national election. However, when it comes to your local public officials, it goes up within the ranks. And if you have a majority in the House and the Senate, and depending on your local officials and how they talk with these individuals up in Capitol Hill and things like that. I'm just throwing this out there as an example. Eventually problems go up. They don't go down. So if your local official within your state is doing something detrimental, for example, like Chicago, property taxes and taxes are going up. They have the highest sales tax, right, in Chicago, and it's a sanctuary city, and Mayor Brandon Johnson keep housing these illegal immigrants. And the American taxpaying citizens, let alone legal immigrants that came over and done things the right way and been rightfully so vetted to become American and live in America and, you know, go through the whole process, they are paying tax. They're paying taxes as an American taxpaying citizen. And at the end of the day, it's not benefiting the best interest of the people because the money isn't going to the people, but illegals. And then at the end of the day, as the problem continues to get bigger, more voices get involved, right? And eventually, if those individuals are doing something that's so detrimental to that state and the people really raise their voices and speak and go up in the ranks and have board meetings and voice their opinions, and then it goes up to officials that see what's going on and hear the cries of the people like the president, who can then have a conversation with that local official, and then things could change, hopefully in a better trajectory, in the best interest of the people, in the right trajectory, right? But it starts with your local elections. If you vote those people in, you can't just run to the president with the problem, because at the end of the day, you voted this way within your state. But problems could go up and raise up to the point where you can get heard by the higher ups, but first you have to go up the ranks. So it all comes together. But at the end of the day, no matter what's being reported, and it should be factual. That's all I'm saying. So I have no problem with Trump holding these people accountable. They should be held accountable more than ever. I'm glad Trump is even leading in regards of stopping these fake news entities at this point. Let me know you guys' thoughts and opinions. I hope you guys got some value from it. If you did, give this video a big thumbs up. On that note, family, peace. Love you guys.